Welcome to RATT Bowling again. This is our boys championship match from our October 2010 tournament held at Creekside Lanes in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Stepping up in the first frame is Nick Christie. Nick is 17 years old and lives in Newport, North Carolina. Nick's first ball is a little light and he leaves a 2-4-5. And he gets the spare in the first frame. Here's Dustin Gibson. He is in his first frame. Dustin is 19 years old and lives in Gastonia, North Carolina. Dustin's first ball is in the pocket for a strike. Dustin led qualifying on Saturday with a 213 average. And then Sunday he went 5-3 in match play, averaging 201. Dustin's second frame leaves a 3-5. And he picks that up for a spare, giving him 20 in the first frame. Here's Nick up in his second frame. He spared in the first. And he throws a strike in the second, giving him 20 in the first frame. Nick defeated A.J. Van Fleet 197-183 in the semifinal round. Nick leaves an 8 count in the third frame. Nick went 6-2 on Sunday match play, averaging 216. And he leaves one pin there, giving him 48 in the third frame. Here's Dustin in his third frame working on a spare. That one's in there for a strike in his third frame. That gives him 40 in the second to Nick's 39. However, Nick opened in the third frame with 48. Dustin's working on a strike in the third. Here's his fourth frame shot. He goes high and leaves a split. Leaves a 2-4-7-10. And he picks that up, giving him 60 in the third frame to Nick's 48. Here's Nick in the fourth frame. He opened in the third. Nick goes high, leaving the 3-6 for an 8 count. And he picks up that spare. Here's Nick's fifth frame. And he strikes in the fifth frame, giving him 68 in the fourth. Dustin coming up in the fifth frame. He has a spare in the fourth. That strike gives him 80 in the fourth frame to Nick's 68. Dustin holds a 12-pin lead, and they're both working on strikes. Here's Dustin's sixth frame, and he leaves the 4-6 split. Gets one of those pins. That'll give him a 108 in the sixth. Nick coming up in the sixth frame is working on a strike. Oh, he throws the ball in the pocket, leaves the 8 pin. Picks that up for the spare, giving him 88 in the fifth to Dustin's 99. However, Dustin opened in the sixth with a 108. A strike here would tie this game. And he does get the strike. He's got 108 and tied with Dustin in the 6th frame. Here's Dustin in his 7th frame. Hits pocket and leaves the 7 pin. Oh, he just barely picks that one up. That'll give him a spare in the 7th. They're tied in the 6th frame at 108. Dustin's working on a spare, and Nick has a strike in the 7th. Here's Dustin's 8th frame. He throws a strike in the 8th, giving him a 128 in the 7th frame. Here's Nick in the 8th frame, working on a strike. Ooh, he hits light, leaves the 5 pin. That gives him 128. They're tied in the 7th frame at 128. Dustin struck in the 8th, and Nick has his spare. Nick's 9th frame, and he strikes in the 9th frame, giving him 148 in the 8th frame. Dustin in his 9th frame. He goes high and leaves the 4-7. That'll give Dustin an opportunity to tie Nick with this spare in the 8th frame. However, Dustin's on a spare and Nick is on a strike in the 9th. They both have 148 in the 8th frame. Dustin's working on a spare coming up in the 10th frame. And he strikes in the 10th frame. That'll give him 168 in the 9th frame. And he doubles in the 10th. Here's Dustin's last ball. He strikes here. He'll finish with a 198. And he does. 198 for Dustin. Nick is coming up. If Nick strikes out, he would have a 208. He needs to get 2 strikes to beat Dustin. If he were to strike and spare, that would only allow him to reach a 197, and he would lose by a pin. Here's his first ball, needs a strike, and he gets it right in the pocket. Here's his second ball, needs a strike to win, and he gets the strike. Nice shot, Nick. Nick actually needs just 1 pin to win this match. His pocket and leaves a 7 pin. 207 to 198. Congratulations, Nick.